Hello everyone, Brett here for TopoRanger, and we're gonna have a good time today because we are at State Game Lands 13. We've got Sullivan Falls, we've got Lewis Falls, we've got Twin Falls, we've got tons of creeks, swimming holes. That road right there, that goes up to Sullivan Falls. That's where I wanted to be, but I came up this road. So basically what we're gonna do today is we're scouting. If it's hot enough, we're going swimming. We're gonna check out some deep pools, some waterfalls. Right now we have to make a decision where we're gonna go. We could kid up here and then go up Heberly Run to Lewis Falls, Twin Falls. And there's just a series of cascades. I think most of it is over the sandstone of the Pottsville Formation. Got conglomerate, mudstone, siltstone. I think the streamways here are gonna be very similar to Rock Run in the way that they look. And where we're going to right now should be Sullivan Falls, because the east branch of Fishing Creek comes up this way and then it splits, and where it splits into Sullivan Run and I can't think of this name of this run right now. I'll put it up on the screen. But where it splits is Sullivan Falls. And this waterfall should have a nice deep pool. So let's go check it out before we have any of our gear on. Just, whoa, look at that. Yeah. Oh, it's looking good too. One of the things I wanted to check out was the water clarity. Since I've never been here, I don't know what's high flow and low flow in terms of the water coming over the edge. And I've been thinking with all this rain that maybe it's a high flow, which means that water clarity wouldn't quite be as good. And this is it. And these streams and these waterfalls and grottos and chasms up here, they have chutes and slides like that right there. That's like a chute. I think this is the spot where they jump. I'm not telling you to do that. Always do your own research about areas. Wow. One of the things that makes this waterfall interesting is that that pool down there is supposed to be as much as 18 feet deep. So here's the lead up to Sullivan Falls. Goes into a chute, a nice chute. I want to be careful here because this sandstone is slick and I don't want to fall in here because you might go over the edge. So if you follow this, it cuts to the left, becomes Sullivan Branch. And there's a whole bunch of waterfalls up there. And if it cuts to the right, that's the one that goes about 1.5 miles. And then you pop out on top of the plateau. So we're in a gorge. We're about halfway up the level of the gorge. At the entrance to the gorge, where Fishing Creek, the east and the west branch come together and they shoot south through the entrance to the gorge, it's about a 1/2 mile wide and it's about 1,000 feet of elevation. Yeah. The plateau that sits at the top of the gorge, or the rim, the escarpment there, is about 2,200 feet. So the gorge is about 1,200 feet deep. Right here, we're about halfway up that. So we are at about 1,400 feet, I think, or 16, no, actually no. So right here, I think we're at about 1,600, and we got about it would be about a 600-foot vertical climb up to the top of the gorge there. Water flowing everywhere. It's just coming out of the ground as it comes down in towards the creek. So this is where the stream actually does split. So Sullivan Branch and that branch goes off to the east. Yeah, this is the sandstone, I think. Like I said earlier, you have sandstone, mudstone, siltstone. And I think the top of the plateau is conglomerate, quartz conglomerate. The conglomerate's more resistant, so that's why it's the cap rock. Let's go to the bottom of the falls, check the water clarity. Here come some people right here. Car is up there, cliff jump is right there, and there's this trail that comes around, switch back down to the pool. Look at all this stuff coming out of here. It's like a fault there. Wow. Look at that. this? What's that? Huh. Looks like it's coming right out of the rock. So they jump right from there. Boom, man, right there. This looks like siltstone or mudstone or something. This whole area is really degraded. I think this tree might be relatively new. I don't know. So here's the water, and you know, it looks pretty clear. It's got kind of that tannic look to it. See the kind of the yellowish brownish? I think that's from the tannins, from probably from upstream. It's supposed to be the deepest right there. And you can see it goes wow. That tree would probably make a good way to get out there without having to go the whole way around. There's a rock shelter cave there. That's downstream towards the mouth of the gorge. Let's go ahead and put the camera underwater and see what it looks like. Let's head back to the car and figure out what we're gonna do. And we are back where we started our journey. I had to go to Ricketts Glen, to the visitor center there to use facilities, and I came back down, came up the gorge again through the main exit point for Fishing Creek. I decided that I wanted to go and see what got me into the idea of coming up here today in the first place, and that was Hiking Mitch. If you don't know about Hiking Mitch, he's on Instagram. He also has a lot of great pictures and descriptions of hikes and maps. It's very useful. He has blogs. I think he has a couple, one called Endless Mountains, and there's another one, I can't remember. But he's done extensive hiking, photography throughout this whole area. He also wrote a couple books. Go check out his stuff, because he's just got great pictures and tons of useful information. And in one of his blog posts, he was describing a hike he did up here where he came up Heberly Run, which is what this is. We got Twin Falls, we got Lewis Falls, and then if we take that left hand run right at Lewis Falls, just a little bit up, he has what he describes as a chasm that looked incredibly deep. I'll put a screenshot of it up right now. That's really what kind of got my curiosity going to come up here today. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna try to find that chasm, and we're gonna go into that chasm, and we're gonna try to figure out how deep that chasm is. Whew, it's hot today. I think it's gonna be 80 or 85. While coming up this road with the sun beating down though, it feels hotter than that. We're almost there. I'm stopping in the shade here just to take a break. I can see a waterfall down there. I can hear it too. And I mean, we gotta be what, 80 feet above the creek here? And check out this sandstone, the bedding on this sandstone, huh? How cool is that? Maybe a little cross bedding there. Like I said before, sandstone, mudstone, shale, conglomerate. Also some limestone. I've never seen any in it, but there's some limestone, also coal. And I'm willing to bet that that's what we saw, that black stuff we saw oozing out of the rock at the base of Sullivan Falls. I mean, it looked like oil or bitumen or something. I bet you that's what that was. All right, there's a big waterfall there. I don't know which one that is though. That might be Twin Falls. There is a trail going down here. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's the first fall of Twin Falls. I mean, I think there's falls all up and down, but probably the main ones are probably the ones that are named. Next one will be Lewis Falls, which is still a little ways up here. And I was thinking about it, and you know, here's a guy who has hiked all over this area, all over this part of Pennsylvania, and he's probably looked into many a plunge pool at the bottom of a waterfall. So for him to say, you know, I saw a chasm in a streamway and there's a waterfall right before it, for him to say it looked incredibly deep, it's got to be pretty deep, right? I mean, that's kind of what hooked me on this trip. Here is the sign for Lewis Falls parking area. In the fall and winter, I think the gates on these roads are open and you can drive right up here. At least you can get a lot closer than we are. I think we were about 1.5 miles or 2 miles away. There should be a trail here. Here, trail. Where's the trail? Ah, there it is over there. It's right in front of me. All right. Whew. And I'm hot. I'm thirsty. I'm ready to have some ice water. This is Lewis Falls, and it has a plunge pool too. I want to check out and see how deep that is. Maybe it's as deep as the one at Sullivan Falls, which, like I said before, is supposedly 18 feet deep. Oh, and here we go. Oh, look at that. It's got a nice sandstone chute. Oh. Wow. This really reminds me of Rock Run. I'd say it's probably a 40-foot jump. Look at the mist coming off the falls right there. And look at that plunge pool. Look how deep that is. Oh. And this one shoots out too. What do you guys think? Should we just go in here? This is looking 10 times better than I thought it would be. And look at the color. That's pretty damn deep too. And it's nice and misty and cool right here. So up that way is the chasm. I'll tell you what, let's get a drink of water and let's just find the chasm. We can always come back here if the chasm seems like it's not going to be as good as this. All right, we came up Heberly when it split off from the stream just above the Lewis Falls. In his post, he did write about finding a trail or a service road, log road, whatever, and they came down here. And there is one that comes right down here. I can see it. And on his map, the chasm, the falls in the chasm upstream of Lewis Falls was right at that spot. So I'm wondering if that's gonna be right up here somewhere pretty soon. There is a nice pool here. And it does kind of look like a chasm, but that doesn't look incredibly deep. It's deep, maybe 10 feet. Stuff is slippery. It might get deeper there. Let's go to there to see what's up there. Perhaps this is what he's talking about, perhaps not. But then we're gonna turn around, we're gonna hit the water, because I'm ready. pushes you against that way. I want to get a shot down, look it up. That current's pretty strong. I get a little sun right here. Oh, that feels so good on my head. All right, we're gonna bid farewell to Lewis Falls, and it was spectacular, both above the water and below the water. But that water is very cold, maybe not quite as cold as Rock Run, but it's probably in the 50s, I would imagine. 55, I'd say, which is pretty damn cold. I started getting cramps after about 15 minutes, so I came up out of there. There's nobody here. I mean, I had this place all to myself. It's a Sunday at the end of August, and it's hot out today, and there's nobody here. So what we're gonna do is, instead of trying to get back up there, because we had to find a spot, which we did back there, to come down off that cliff, because that's the undercut, right? So that part there is the hard stuff, the sandstone, and then there's like some kind of reddish, maroonish siltstone or mudstone or something, and that's that layer right there, and that's what's creating the falls, the nick points right there, and it retreats. I wonder how long ago it was here, because it slowly retreats up the valley. So we're just gonna hike from here down to Twin Falls, which isn't too far, along the creek, see if we can find anything, check out Twin Falls, and then pop up to the road and take that back to the car. And here's that stuff I was talking about. You see how crumbly? See the color? It's rock in there, but it's really, it's like rotten all here. So this is probably the soft stuff. Yeah, look at that. That's actually led to the creation of the falls. This is the sandstone. That would be the stuff that's up there. Nice drippage and fern. Here you can really see that siltstone, I think it is. It's thick, a real thick layer of it here, and it's just, so you get a big rain event, this stuff is getting eaten away pretty fast. It's got a cool color though. looking downstream. We still have not hit Twin Falls yet, but it's coming up soon. I wanted to show you this. There's that siltstone again. And when the sun hits it just right, the color really pops. It's very slippery though. A little rock cut channel. And we are at Twin Falls now. Here's the lead up. It's looking pretty good. The lip of the waterfall is actually made up of that. The siltstone stuff. Let's see what this plunge pool looks like. Ooh, hey, I'm seeing some nice fish there. Yeah, that's a nice plunge pool. And there's the other fall right there. There's a little one over there. That's a good 20-25 foot fall. Look at that chute right there. And that looks like it might be as deep as Lewis Falls. Let's continue downstream and check out the next fall. About a 25 foot waterfall with that cool chute thing at the top. The next one's right there. There's one of the twins from a little farther down, and you can see that you're starting to get that effect in the sandstone that happens at Rock Run as well, where you get what almost look like topographic contour lines, and they kind of are really in a sense in that sandstone. There's a flume going down to the next one. It's going to be right over here. Oh, hey. That looks deeper, huh? Oh. Whoa. Look at that one. So there's a ledge there. A ledge there. It looks like this one you might actually be able to go underneath the overhang and get around behind the fall. And the plunge pool looks pretty deep. Maybe, I don't know how far this cliff extends. I want to get farther down there though. So that's the lip right there. You can get down right about here. Just be careful because it's slippery as always. And now we'll walk over that contour line effect sandstone, and we'll see what we can do over here. It feels good on the feet. A little bit of the creek comes down this way and forms a separate little waterfall. We were up there looking down just a minute ago. This stuff is probably slippery. Let's go over here. Look at that plunge pool. Woo! Look at that overhang. You can definitely get behind there. "25-foot cliff, undercut, sandstone on top, siltstone underneath." That's gonna wrap it up. I hope you guys had fun. I know I surely did. We didn't really find the chasm. Not sure if it was the one slot that we found, or if maybe he was talking about something that's farther upstream. Doesn't matter, because Lewis Falls itself had a beautiful plunge pool, ice cold, very refreshing. Didn't find much between Lewis Falls and Twin Falls. It's just a nice streamway, but Twin Falls is pretty good too. We'll have to come back here, check out this plunge pool, and check out that one especially. That one looked maybe the deepest of all the ones we've seen today. And we also still have to get back to Sullivan Falls, get down in there, see if it's really 18 feet deep. I hope everyone out there is having a great summer. Thanks for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. We will come back here, all right? This is Brett for TopoRanger, and I'll see everyone in the next episode.